some technical topic, so everybody can stay. This is something which is going to be interesting to everybody, I believe. Okay, so let me give an introduction. You know the title? Mail came up. I don't remember seeing the mail. Okay, first before I start, let me just give you a brief about what I wanted to talk here. Okay, I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a qualified person to talk about this. But actually, I'm coming from a slightly different angle here. Okay, see, when you buy an air conditioner for home, you don't really need somebody who knows the technology in and out, right? Somebody who knows how to use the air conditioner. If some problem happens, how to fix it quickly so that you can get that cold air quickly. Okay, like that. I am a consumer of my own body. So what I learned as a consumer from experts is what I'm sharing. Some of this information may be diluted, but they won't be wrong. That is something I can say for sure. Okay, so I'll just start with a mandatory disclaimer. That's what I told just now. Whatever I'm saying here is a very peripheral level details. I'm not going deep into anything. I don't have any numbers here. I'm not going to bore you with everyday eat this, everyday eat that. I'm not going to bore you with any diet talk. This is simply, I'm just asking you to watch what you're eating. When I say watch, it's not calorie counting. You don't have to count, this is 2000 calories, this is 200 calories, I have to eat one idli less or whatever it is. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the habit of looking at what we eat. That's all. Simply the habit of looking at what we eat. Most of the information here, I've tried my level best to make sure that it is accurate. In case some things are wrong, please let me know before I publish to the general public, because I can make a mistake here and you all can be my beta testers. Okay, I'll start with a small story, one butter experiment that I did. And a year back, probably 10 months back, I had to write an exam, and it so happened that the bus in which I was traveling got into some breakdown, and then I couldn't get another bus, and by the time I reached the place of I had to go to another city to write the exam. And by the time I reached there, I only had 15 minutes before I could enter the exam hall, and I didn't have my breakfast yet. So I didn't know what to do. I can't go there without eating breakfast, then I can't write. I mean, I have to write physically. It's not a multiple choice answer I can select in a computer. I had to write for 3 hours, and there is no option for me to go there without breakfast. So I had to eat something. And then at the time I was in a high-fat diet. That's for a different purpose. Let me not bring that topic here. So what I did is, I thought I'll quickly solve the problem. I just entered into a grocery shop which was near that examination center. I bought 200 grams of butter and ate it. Can you imagine? Have you ever tried that? I had no option. Okay? I had only 10 minutes or something. Before that, I have to go inside, I have to search for my classroom, and I have to go and sit. I mean, so many things to do. So I didn't have an option. I ate 200 grams of butter.
Who has advised? It's your own advice.
Sorry?
Who has advised you? Instantly someone has
Nobody advised. I just took the call. 10 minutes is there, I'll do it. So I just did. I didn't have an option. I wanted to eat something before I entered into the examination hall. I did it. I went there and I wrote the exam. Absolutely no problem. I didn't feel even a tiny bit of tiredness. In fact, I didn't know which exam it was. Otherwise, I would have checked what is my mark in that exam, just to check how was the performance of the butter. But the thing is, I came back and then I told a friend, or probably I posted in Twitter. I don't remember. These days I post everything in Twitter. So I just told that I just had this as the food, and then I was able to survive for 3-4 hours with full energy, and I didn't have any problem and all. And one friend, he is a very good friend of mine, he came to me in a personal chat, and then he told me that what I did is expected. I mean, if you eat such a 200 grams of fat and go inside, you will have that energy for next 2-3 hours, you will be able to do it, there is no surprise in it. But just imagine, let's say you didn't eat that, and instead you ate a idli or a dosa or something with chutney and whatever it is, or you ate a chapati or whatever it is. Just see the breakdown of what you would have actually taken in your body. Here it's 100% fat, probably 99% fat or whatever it is, I don't know the exact numbers. So what is it is, you have taken only fat, and then it has helped your body for 3-4 hours. If you continue to do it for next 1 month or next 6 months, you will have problems. Okay, one day it's fine, one day you are able to manage it, but if you do it continuously, I know you are not going to do it continuously, but I'm just telling you, looking at your surprise, and I just want to tell you that you have to watch what you are eating. Eating too much of fat or too much of protein or too much of carbohydrate or too much of anything is not good for your body. There has to be a balance, and there are articles written by medical professionals, dietitians, and there are research papers in terms of what happens when you eat something, what happens in your body really, where it goes and gets stored and all those things. You should read. I said, why should I read all this? I mean, I just eat and then I'm not feeling hungry for next couple of hours, and that's all I need. So that's where he started educating me. He started telling it's important that we know what happens to our body when we eat something, what we should eat, what we should not eat. You'll know all these only when you do that. He just told, when you buy a new phone, you just spend an hour reading that manual, or you just spend an hour browsing through the phone and then understanding what are the features there. If you're doing so much of research for a phone, why not do that for your own body? You may hurt or you may help your own body by doing this research. So that's where I want to start. So I started reading. Before that, what I was doing is, I was doing this. A diet is normally a blind faith. Somebody tells you, eat this for 10 days and you will reduce weight. That's all. And I was believing in all those because I wanted to reduce my weight. It's as simple as that. So somebody says, okay, eat only this, only banana for 10 days and then your weight will reduce. Don't drink water for 2 days and your weight will reduce. All sorts of things, and I was blindly following because like let me do something, and then as long as the weight comes down, I am fine. So what happens is, there are aftermaths with it. I have tried GM diet, I have tried every diet in the world probably. I have researched and then tried. And the thing is, I didn't even realize that there are aftermaths because of that. If a diet forces you to eat only a particular kind of thing, little later you're going to have that problem. That little later, maybe 1 year down the line or 10 years down the line. You wouldn't know it now. So that's where he advised me to learn what you're eating and then you take the call. You don't need a dietitian, that's what he said. Once you know the basic facts, you know what your body is supposed to take and what your body is not supposed to take, and you can take some calls. So that's what I want to share. And the main reason why I wanted to share is, I went to our canteen, which is here in the 7th floor, and then I just looked at that display that he has. He has so many items. I wouldn't advise you to eat any of them. Okay? Any of them. After going through this learning myself, okay? Then I was thinking, I mean, when I was doing trainings, who trainers are there? I mean, I have a few trainers here, they can also validate. Any IT company, you go to their canteen, you will find exactly same items there. Have you observed that? Every IT company, you go there, it will be the same chips, same biscuits, same kind of samosa or whatever it is that they are having, and it looks like a conspiracy, right? How can they how can they take over all the IT companies, at least in Bangalore? You go there and they have exactly the same food, and it's convenience. You just pay 10 rupees, you buy it and then you eat it and then you just forget about it. So what happens is, that convenience is slowly getting into us and then we don't watch what we are eating. Again, when I say watching what you eat, I am not at all talking about that, okay? I am not saying how many calories are there in each food, I am not getting into that level. We don't even realize that we are not eating the right thing for our body. That's what I am trying to say. The problem is, the food as a concept is very complicated, okay? In fact, I typed complicated and later went ahead and added that very specifically because I wanted to make a statement like that. What I am talking today is not even 1% of what I learned. It is a very complicated process. What you eat, when you eat, in what form you eat, how you chew, how much time you leave between one meal and meal. So many factors can affect, and I can never tell you if you do this, your weight will reduce, if you do that, your weight will reduce, or you will be healthy or whatever it is. Weight reduction is not the only reason for which I am talking about all this. So what I did is, I spoke to people. I spoke to dietitians, I spoke to people like me who read, probably they started reading little earlier, they could explain few things to me. I spoke to doctors, I spoke to many people, and I tried to understand what this food that we are taking. And then I realized that my daughter is studying all of them in her school books. It's all there in our school books also. We read it and we forgot it. Now we don't remember any of those things. That's what I realized. And then I'm totally surprised that kids are reading it. I also read it and then I totally forgot about it. I believe more than anything else that we studied in our schools and colleges, this is one thing that we should probably keep with us forever. Because this is something which is going to affect us directly. Algebra, you forget it, not a problem. You forget how to add things or how to multiply things, you have a calculator that can help you. But if you forget this, there is no way you can get back what you have lost. So that's where what I did is, I decided to share some of these things. You people may know, some of you may know this, so kindly bear with me for some time because it looks very theory, but still I wanted to say this. The food that we eat actually has two parts, macronutrients and micronutrients. These macronutrients, just like the name suggests, macro and micro, you understand. You are supposed to eat macronutrients more and micronutrients less. Not in terms of quantity, in terms of how it gets added in your body. So the macronutrients are the ones which give you the energy, and the micronutrients are the essentials for certain operations in your body. Again, each one is a separate topic by itself. For example, within micronutrients, you take vitamins, there is thousands of pages of stuff available for us to learn. So my intention is not to go through all of them, but just wanted to give a brief about that. And of course, water. How much water we drink every day is a very, very important parameter on how your other aspects, starting from healthy or being active throughout the day and not becoming fatigued after doing some rigorous thing and stuff like that. I mean, all these things are important. So all three, macronutrients, micronutrients and water. All three are important to us. And when you go within macronutrients, there are three parts which are important: carbohydrates, proteins and fats. And carbohydrates are the energy sources for our body. They are very easy to consume. When I say consume, not eating, your body to consume it. When you eat carbohydrate-rich food, your body easily takes it. So it's able to take it and convert it into an energy. So you eat carbohydrate-rich food, you are able to kind of you will be very active for next few hours till you get your next meal. So that's why when you look at a traditional food itself, there will be a major carbohydrate portion in it. And then it gets stored in your body in different ways, some good ways, some bad ways. Again, I'm not getting into details there, and it helps your body to function. Some of the things where carbohydrates are there, grains, they are the main source of carbohydrate, milk and potato. These are all popular examples. Of course, there is a big list. Hundreds of items are there having carbohydrate. Grains, when you look at it, now we know why southern India is probably keeping rice as one of the main food ingredients, and northern India, when you go, you have wheat as a main ingredient. Carbohydrate is required. You need certain percentage of carbohydrate in your body for you to be energetic throughout the day. So it is one important component. All macronutrients are important. Don't believe if somebody says fat is bad or you should reduce fat or carbohydrate is bad, you should make it zero or whatever it is. I mean, I have believed all those things, that's a separate story. But the point is, all three are important. What is the ratio? Doctors will suggest. And the second one is the protein, which is your growth and immunity, your muscle strength, and all those. Protein gives that. And some of the food items which have protein are meat mainly. That's where vegetarians like me will always have protein deficiency. Meat is the best source of protein that you can get. We manage by eating cheese and stuff like that. There is no other option for us to get protein. Of course, vegetables have certain nuts and all have protein, but it's not in that such a large quantity that you get from meat. So that's the second one. Second macro.
Excuse me, pulses has a lot of those who are vegetarians.
Right.
Pulses they contain a lot of protein.
Right.
They can compensate.
Correct. And cheese, that is another thing. And third one, fat, which is a very, very essential thing for our body. I think it has got a very bad reputation, mainly because we feel the word fat is also means somebody who is fat, right? He looks chubby and then we call it as fat. So we have assumed that fat is equal to overweight kind of a thing. But the reality is you need fat for your body functioning, your growth, your energy. It also gives you energy to some level, and then it helps you absorb vitamins in your food. So that is the third macronutrient. These three are to be in certain ratio. Again, I am not getting into numbers because the moment I get into number, it becomes boring. Number two, numbers may change with future results. So I would advise you to refer to the latest advice from the respective organizations to find out, okay, should it be 2/3 carbohydrate, 1/3 protein, or whatever is the combination. You have to kind of do that balancing act. As far as the, okay, that's an example where you find fat, meat, butter, oil, all the oil, cooking oil that we use, all contains fat. And then the micronutrients are vitamins and minerals, which is a big topic by itself. You need them, they are essential, you can't live without them, it's as simple as that. Each one of them do a different thing. You will be remembering that vitamin A is the one which is responsible for the eyesight, and vitamin D you get it in sunlight and stuff like that. Like that you would have read and you may remember, you may not remember, but the fact is all of them are required in small quantities. Every day you are supposed to take these many milligrams, kind of a very, very small number. You don't have to really eat a lot, but you need all of them. Now, the quantity. The next question is, till now I was just saying you need to eat, you need to eat, you need to eat. How much you need to eat? That's the next question, the quantity, and then we'll come to the quality. As far as the quantity is concerned, there are various models. I have just put two models here which are popular. One is the food pyramid, you would have heard. So people will say that you should take the grain, bread items and cereal items more, and next level you have two groups, vegetables and fruits, and then next level you have the dairy products on one side, and then you have meat on another side, and in the top level you have the fat, oils and stuff like that. That is one way of representing it. There is another way which they call it as my food plate. That's what they call it as my healthy plate, sorry. So it says 30% vegetables, 20% fruits, 25% grains, healthy protein 25%, and then healthy oils, and then water and milk kind of thing. So this is another, actually that is a pie chart actually. It's not made as a pie because the moment you see pie it's not healthy. So they have made it like a plate. Otherwise the percentage pretty much reflects what you should eat. So these are all numbers. Again, I don't want to go purely by the numbers because it will, one thing I have observed is our traditional food that we eat follows all these norms automatically. That is a very, very surprising thing that you realize only after you read, after you observe what your mother and your grandmother were forcing you to eat, that percentage is perfect. Whatever 30% vegetables or 20% fruit or grain or whatever it is, they were correctly pushing it to us. And probably now that we make our own food choices, it becomes our responsibility. I will talk about a more important thing, which is the quality. Not all fat is good. Not all protein is good. Not all carbohydrate is good. For example, within carbohydrate, if a carbohydrate is coming from a fiber, it is much more good for your body than something which is coming from other sources. That is one way of looking at the quality. Another way of looking at is the fresh cooked food versus the processed food. This is another important thing. Biscuits. There is an ad put here. Every bite you see the grain kind of ad. I just saw that Nutri-Choice biscuit ad. I see it almost every day. The thing is, it's a processed food, end of the day. Of course, you get the same ingredients. It has wheat, it has whatever grain that you are supposed to eat, it has it, but it's a processed food. So there is a difference. So what happens is, these processed food, they give you more macronutrients and less micronutrients. They remove the micronutrients mainly to preserve the food for longer. If they make a biscuit, it should be there for next 10 days, or in some cases factory products, it should stay for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months and stuff like that. So for them to do it, they have to process the food. And when they process the food, there are certain things which are lost. And there is a way for us to know it. We'll come to that after a couple of slides, but the thing is we don't do it. We say, yeah, it must be good. I was drinking liters and liters of Tropicana juice at one point of time, thinking fruit is good for me. Then one person told me that, see, you eat one apple versus you drink 1 cup of apple juice, what's the difference? He explained to me. So he explained to me that they take the sweety portion of that apple and then add on top of it water or any other ingredients that they want to add to make that juice stay without spoiling for 9 months, 6 months kind of a thing. You are taking a little bit of apple, agreed, but the point is you are actually missing the fruitiness of that. I mean, I don't know what's the right English word to say there. So he was suggesting that instead of drinking one glass of apple juice, eat 1 apple. That's how naturally you are supposed to eat apple. Processing it and then drinking it is not the good way to take it into your body, even though you are necessarily, you would have seen ads like 1 cup of milk equal to 4 biscuits. You would have seen that ad everywhere. But the thing is, the truth is, they are equal probably in the sense of macronutrient perspective, but you are missing so much when you eat a biscuit versus when you drink the milk. Okay, so that is what I call it as quality. So you need to look at the quality of carbohydrates, proteins and fats that you are taking in your body, and you need to look at what are the micro ingredients which are there in that food. So how do I do that? Okay, this is a few examples I have added. Natural sugar and added sugar. Natural sugar is when you eat an apple, you see the sweetness, right? So it has sugar. Apple has sugar. Not just apple, even various other non-fruits items also, they all have sugar in it, natural sugar. That is what we call it as a natural sugar. It came from plants. Versus added sugar. Even though added sugar also comes from plants, technically speaking, it is coming from, let's say, sugar cane or a beetroot kind of a thing. When you compare, the added sugar actually adds more sugar in your body, which your body doesn't need. Whereas the natural sugar, because when you eat a whole apple, the amount of sugar in it is controlled. Plus, you get so much more versus you take 1 spoon of sugar and then eat it, or put 1 spoon of sugar in a fruit juice and then drink it. That is full sugar that you are consuming. Versus here, sugar plus there is so much more that you are getting. That balance is there in the natural. What we do is by processing, we are spoiling that balance. So that's what I wanted to talk about here. And one more point I wanted to talk about is the natural food and the processed food. Choose wisely between them. Between the natural and the processed food, you have to make your choice. If you have to, best example is apple versus apple juice. If you have an opportunity to eat apple, that is much better than drinking apple juice. But having said that, convenience also plays a role. You can't carry apple everywhere. Or, juice is so easy. You are hungry, just go up, pay 20 bucks and then you are getting a juice packet and then you are drinking and you are fine. That's okay. That is acceptable. I'm not saying you should never have processed food or whatever it is, but don't make that assumption that, yeah, I drank apple juice, it must be good for me, kind of a thing. The processed food never gives you that promise. Second, look at the nutrition labels. Most of you wouldn't have seen this. It's there in every food product, most of the food products. Maybe the small scale industry food products may not have this. Otherwise, this list you will have it. You will be able to exactly see how many calories are coming from fat, and then how much, look at the details. It even goes up to the level of sodium, sugar, how much it is, protein, how much is there, vitamin A, vitamin C, all the details are there in the nutritional label or whatever way you want to call it. It's there in every product. Most of the times we don't read it. So if you are doubting, okay, should I drink this juice versus eat this fruit, just look at the label and then decide, or better just eat the fruit. Because one thing that is very clearly proven is natural versus the processed food. Processed food only gives you convenience. Otherwise, natural food has the right things for your body. That is another thing. Another common mistake that I observed, I was doing the same mistake, is the calorie counting versus the nutrition counting. So people who are in diet or people who want to stay healthy, what they do is they just count. Okay, every day you are supposed to eat only 2000 calories, and then you just, okay, this idli is 45 calories, this sambar is 10 calories, oh, I'll eat without sambar, I'll eat idli. People do all such crazy things. Instead, go for something like a calorie counter. There are many mobile apps available. There are many apps customized for India, actually. So when you open an app and then you say, I had 5 idlis, it automatically calculates that 5 idli would have 30 grams of carbohydrate, or I'm just cooking up numbers, they are not real numbers. It basically calculates, and at the end of the day you will be able to know, yes, today I had my share of carbohydrate, I did not have my share of protein, tomorrow I should balance or whatever it is. You can take such calls. That is much better than just looking at a single number, which is calorie. It's always convenient, right? To see a single number. Yeah, I met the number, no, I didn't meet the number. But the thing is, the devil is in the details. Or in this case, the health is in the details. You have to get to the next level and look at that. Then only you will realize what you are missing or where you are supposed to be. You can fix yourself. You don't need a dietitian. Of course, to know the basics, you need a dietitian. After that, you should take care of yourself. A dietitian is not going to come behind you and check everything what you eat. And few other things. They are not related to food, but I have observed that these are all very, very important. Having an active lifestyle. When I say active lifestyle, walking, climbing the stairs, or just going ahead and doing something which needs the physical movement of your body, that is one important thing. I think people say walking 10,000 steps a day is something which is the level of active lifestyle which people recommend. So 10,000 steps is nothing but about 8 kilometers. So it's not practical for each one of us to walk 8 kilometers a day. But at least it can't be 1,000, right? So I think we need to kind of get into that level of comfort feel, and being more active really keeps you in that level. Second one is de-stressing activities. This is another thing, the hobbies. I don't know how many of you have hobbies. I have observed that many of the people slowly lose track of the hobbies that they have. That is what actually de-stresses you. So whatever pressure you may have in office, whatever work pressure that you may have, just a little bit of break every day at the correct intervals will definitely help you a lot in staying more productive for even doing your regular work. And enough sleep, that is another important parameter. 6 hours is minimum and 8 hours is recommended. And depending on what it is, and of course it changes based on your age, based on your male or female, it changes based on various factors. Again, I don't want to concentrate on numbers. Numbers will be different for each people. Each people, their metabolism is different, their body is different, and it will change for each people. But the thing is, having enough sleep is important. Without these, irrespective of what food you eat, you will not feel healthy. You will not feel active. That's the important thing. Today morning, what I did is I went ahead and did a small survey. I asked my Twitter and Facebook followers to fill a survey for me, and I asked them to say, if you have to give one single advice to people about staying healthy, what will it be? I just asked them to fill only one item. Only one. I know there are many things, but what is important to you? I just wanted to sense what people think is important. And the results are pretty much matching with what the doctors say. Okay? So you see the eat right as the biggest thing. Exercise, which is nothing. When I say exercise, you don't have to go and join a gym. You have to be active. That's what we call it as exercise. It could be walking or jogging or treadmill or whatever it is. That is one. And then sleeping right. Those are the 3 things. All other things become small, relaxing, and quitting smoking or drinking or having right water. They're all important, but people don't think them to be the major contributors to a healthy lifestyle. My last slide. I would like you to continue reading because I haven't answered many questions. For example, good fat versus bad fat. What is cholesterol? Is it good or bad for our health? How frequently we should do health checkups? When we are doing health checkups, what we should check and what we should not check. There is so much to read, so much to talk about. I don't think one more session will be enough to talk about this. You have to keep reading. You have to know more. It's like there is, unfortunately, nobody wrote a user manual for our body. Okay, so it is left to us to sense what is good for us and then follow it. But one good thing is your body has the right sensors. Nobody has to design it. Your body can tell you when to stop eating. Your body can tell you what is bad for your body. Unfortunately, your tongue can't say that. That's a problem. So your body has all the right signals inbuilt. Only thing is they are all sleeping by knowing. Basically, when I say knowing, awareness about what to eat, what not to eat, how much to eat, how to eat, and all those things. I think that's what will help you stay healthy for a long, long period of time. Especially those who are in 20s. I have observed that with many people, the age 21 to 30 is the turning point. If you have the right habits at that time, healthy habits at that time, after 30 your life will be very good. If you are not having the right habits, then after 30 you are going to have the problem. My intention is not to scare anybody. I also didn't care much when I was in 21 to 30. I woke up very late, and I just want to say that these are all not difficult to follow, but they are not convenient. That's a problem. At one time, we will be eaten by the convenience factor, and then we will get to the unhealthy eating habits. I think we have to break that habit. Once we are able to do it, you'll stay there for life. Actually, my wife, when I started doing this exercise, she bet me that I will not continue with, because she has seen me taking so many diets and then breaking and then going back. Sarita told me once that I have broken more diets than I have started. Okay, my wife is usually right about me. When Venki bought a cycle for his coming to office, my wife told me that he will not use it for more than a month. Because I know, she told me that, yeah, I know you, I know what Venki will do, after 1 month he will not use it. Actually, it happened, exactly. But in this case, I believe I can prove her wrong and continue this forever. Touch wood. So yeah, I think that's what I wanted to share with you, especially that canteen. After seeing that, I don't know whether I can control what is there in the canteen, but I can at least start looking at the nutritional labels and then start understanding what is there in it. After all, it's your body and you only get one body per life. You don't get a replacement. It is even getting replacement parts is difficult for the body. Thank you.